and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way. This is where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. This is part 5 and the final part of my window box flower series. And in this video we're going to be adding the final details and the final touch-ups to the painting. If you want to follow along with traditional materials, check out part 1 in this series, where I have a list of all the canvas, paint, and brushes that I use. The app that I'm going to be using is Infinite Painter for Android. And what I want to do here is just kind of do some final touch-ups on the flowers. And so I'm adding a little bit more of the leaves around the flowers. And then I wanted to go ahead and add a little bit of some of the highlights there on the edges of the flowers and make sure that it covers the white flowers, but I also want to make sure that some of them show up a little bit better. So I've gone back and I've taken a Leo brush or something, just adding a little bit more highlights to the edges of the white flowers, a little bit more highlights to the edges of the red flowers. Just kind of working on the shapes a little bit, refining them just a little bit more. But they don't need a whole lot more work. We're about through with the flowers. Then I took some light pink colored paint and just went ahead and signed it in the right lower corner there. But as you know, just because I sign a painting doesn't mean that I'm through. And so I went back and added a few more things after I signed it. So I went ahead and shrunk it down to see what it looked like and checked the edges of the windows and decided to try to straighten them out just a little bit more, straighten the edges of the shutters just a little bit more, and I used a darker paint to go ahead and show the edges of the shutters there. And I used the straight line guide to make sure that I made a straight line, and I straightened up the outside doors on the shutters and the inside of the window panes, and I used a dark brown. Again, you can use burnt umber or burnt sienna for this. And these are just the final little touches that you add to your painting, the little corrections. I went ahead and added the highlight to the top of the shutters with a yellow ochre color and made sure that it was straight. And went back over the window panes, making sure that they had straight lines, that I hadn't lost the straight lines there. You kind of want a little bit of some sharp edges on the bottom to show the shadow, but you don't have to have it completely sharp edge. It can be a little bit soft because it's a wood material, so it's not going to be a sharp edge like a metal would be, but you still kind of need to make sure that it's straight. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of straightening up the edges of the shutters and then shrinking it down, which is the equivalent of stepping back from your painting and looking to see what else you might need to do to it. And I just worked on the edges just a little bit more, just kind of trying to get it straight. And eventually you have to stop playing around with it and just call it done. And so I did a few more things like that and then decided that it looked pretty good. And I went ahead and thought that it would look good if I added a little bit of some shadow under the shutters. So I'm using a spray brush, and you can use a glaze if you're following along traditionally, which is just a really thin down mixture of water and paint. And you can use a darker brown color or a little bit of purple, and I just wanted that on the right side of the painting by the flower box and behind the shutters, and that just gives it a more three-dimensional look. And also a little bit on the left side there of the shutter on the inside of the window, and that just gives you your depth and your three-dimensional look there and sort of kind of finishes out the painting. So this is the end of my window box flower series, and everybody just stay tuned for a brand new series. It'll be coming soon. If you want to see that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions about this lesson, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. And also, if you have some suggestions about what you would like to see next, just go ahead and leave those in the comments too. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you later.